Hey guys, and welcome back to Horticulture Geek. Join me today as we plant a peach tree on the patio. Hey there, YouTube friends, and welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray, and again, thank you so much for joining me today here on the channel. Today, we are going to be working on planting a patio peach tree or a miniature peach tree. I'm super excited about this project because right now we're in the month of February, and it is the perfect time, February and March, to start planting your fruit trees. You want to plant fruit trees while they are still dormant. That way they can wake up into their space. And so I went shopping this weekend and I found a really beautiful patio peach tree. It is a, let me look at my tag here. A Bonanza is the variety, a Bonanza patio peach. There are lots of different varieties out there. Some varieties give you more flowers and smaller fruit. Some varieties give you plenty of fruit and not so many flowers. So you just have to kind of look at the varieties that are available to you. Now, if you're a fan of Garden Answer like I am, you will know that Laura at Garden Answer has a patio or a miniature peach tree and that she has in her garden. I know lots of people have gone crazy for them since she talked about hers. Hers is called the Pixie. It's the Pixie peach. But I did not have that variety here. I checked my garden centers, and that variety is not even available here, which means that the growers here in Central Arkansas that supply all the nurseries and big box stores, they don't even carry that variety here. And you're probably gonna run into that too. So what you need to be aware of is if you're interested in a patio peach tree or a patio fruit tree that you can put in a container. So this is perfect for small gardeners or urban gardeners, or maybe you're a gardener in an apartment complex or a patio home and you can't put things in the ground. So you want to put things in containers. You are going to be looking for dwarf or miniature versions of plants. And that's exactly what this is. And today I am going to be planting this in a container. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you the tree I got. I'll show you the container we're going to be planting up and the materials that I'm going to need to do this. Okay, so here we are in the garden, and you can see if you've been familiar with my garden before, now this is a very different look than in summer. If you've never seen my channel in the summer, this is my perennial herbaceous border, and it is absolutely chock full of things. This is a completely different garden in summer, so don't let the lack of greenery fool you in this video. Go check out some of those summer tours. But, so this is where we're at in the garden, right here at the beginning of this bed, and I've had this large pottery pot for a while now, this large container, and this is where our peach tree is going to go. And then here is the actual peach tree itself. And let me get up real close here and see if we can get the camera to zoom in. You can see it's all budded up. It's got lots of nice buds. It's got nice branch structure up through here on a nice, tall, sturdy trunk stock. And this, like I said, is the Patio Peach Bonanza variety. And again, I'll just show you right here. It was $59.99 at my garden center. Now, that is considerably more money than you will pay for a standard fruit tree at a big box store. But this is a specialized plant that has been grown specifically to do this. And in most cases, these are grafted stock plants, which means that the top of the plant is the Bonanza variety and the root of the plant is actually something different. That way that this plant is really good and really hardy. There's a lot of work that goes into these specialty plants. And so that's why they will cost more. And this price is actually not that bad, in my opinion, for a plant like this. And so what do you look for when you are looking for a tree like this or a plant like this. And that's really up to the final look that you envision. So for me, since I am working with a taller, more squared container, I really wanted a centerpiece in this pot that I could then plant around. And so I wanted a tree on a tall stalk. And in the garden industry or the horticulture industry, we call this a standard. Okay, so it looks like a tree. You've got a trunk and then a canopy. But if you wanted more of a bushy look, you can probably find peach trees or other trees or any other plant that you wanted that maybe has more branching structure and not so tall of a trunk. You can absolutely find those things if you get out there and looking. And if you're not worried about a peach tree or a fruiting tree, maybe you're just looking for a centerpiece, you can really use anything you want. You could put a hydrangea in here. You could put an evergreen in here. You could do a specialty cut spiral or bonsai plant. I mean, it's whatever your heart desires, really. But for me in my application, I just thought, and let me just set this in here, that would be pretty. So I'm gonna have this nice big pot with this tree coming out of it, and around the base, not today because it's not time yet for my filler plants, but around the base here I will plant annuals, probably super bells or calibrachoas, because they give you a lot of punch and a lot of impact. So this is what I'm working with today. So I've got my plant, I've got some potting mix. You do want to use a good quality potting mix. You do not want to use garden soil. Garden soil is too heavy. Regular old dirt out of the ground is going to have too much of a clay content. It's going to hold on to too much water, and it's going to encourage root rot. Okay, you want a good potting mix that can hold on to nutrition, but let the water drain through so that you don't basically create a swimming pool for your plant. Okay, you want this water to be able to drain away so that your plant can survive without draining. And I'm also going to be using some Biotone starter fertilizer. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Biotone. I religiously use it. It is just a good starter fertilizer. And it has the microorganisms in it to get your soil going and to develop good, healthy, strong roots. Now, I am using a good size root ball here. So this plant already has good, healthy roots, but I still want those roots to be able to suck up nutrients, feed themselves, set out into the rest of this soil that I'm going to be putting in here, and truly be able to feed and support this plant, because I want beautiful flowers and I want big, delicious peaches. And so again, I got to take care of this plant to get those two things. So now let me set the camera up and we're going to get this planted. All right, when you get your tree in your pot and you've got it about halfway full, then you really want to step back and look at the tree and make sure that it's straight up and down, okay? Because if you don't want to plant it and get all the way done and it's leaning or crooked. So really look at it and make sure it's positioned where you want it when you've got your soil about, halfway there, that you still have room to manipulate the plant. All right, so here it is, all planted and watered in. And you'll notice this is drip irrigation that connects back into the sprinkler system. And I will have to get some new stakes and get this staked down in place. But the tree is planted and it is watered in, and there's still some manipulation that I can do on it once the soil settles if I need to. But there it is, and I think it's going to be really fun. So there you have it, folks. Nothing too hard or complicated about it, but you can absolutely find fruit trees and productive plants that you can grow in containers or large pots to fit any space requirements that you have. And right now is a great time to find those things. Garden centers are starting to get their shipments of fruit trees now. They'll get them in right now through February and continue through March. So if you're looking for some specific things, contact your garden centers and see what is available for you. And now, like I said, don't get boggled down trying to find a specific variety. I know a lot of people do that. Like I said, they see Laura at Garden Answer say, hey, I planted a Pixie miniature peach. And so they clamor and they're like, I want a Pixie miniature peach. Well, you may be in a region where Pixie miniature peaches are not common and you're not gonna be able to find it. You can probably find it online and order it, or you could just go to your local garden center and say, look, I want a miniature peach tree that works well in a container or a small space, and they'll know exactly what varieties they have. They can talk to you about it. They can recommend different things for you. So there was several varieties at the nursery that I went to. And like I said, there were some that were really just for ornamental purposes that they put on massive flower displays, but the peaches were small and not really worth much if you're, wanting to have peach production. And then there's varieties like this that flower and put out good whole size fruit. So it really depends on what you want and what is available to you in your area. So get out there, do your shopping, and see what you can come up with. I hope this video has inspired you and maybe answered some questions, because once you find the variety or that thing that you've had in your head that you want, the planting part is simple. That's pretty straightforward no matter what the container is. Use a good potting soil and give it plenty of fertilizer, get it watered in, and let the plant do the rest. So if you've enjoyed this video, which I certainly hope you have, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, because I truly hope that this has inspired you. Maybe you didn't realize that you could get miniature fruit trees. So maybe this has taught you something that you didn't even know was out there. And that's the goal with my videos here at Horticulture Geek, is just to show you kind of what I'm doing, what projects I'm working on, and to give you guys some inspiration of things that you might be able to do at your garden. If you found this video helpful, share it to your friends and family that you think may also be interested in something like a miniature peach tree. And also, like I said earlier, check out some of my older videos, see what this garden looks like in the summer. If you haven't seen it before, it will completely amaze you, the transformation it takes from winter to summer. And then hit that notification bell, because I'm gonna be posting garden tours as soon as spring hits, and we're gonna be able to watch the transformation together as it unfolds this growing season. But with that, I think that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. But until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.